What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball fan manga review, where today we're going to be reviewing the fan manga entitled Dragon Ball Multiverse, which of course is a fan manga set within its own timeline involving characters from both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But the overall concept of Dragon Ball Multiverse involves fighters from different quadrants and parallel worlds in which come together for this grand multiverse battle to determine which universe and team is superior than the rest. And for many years now, I've been reviewing Dragon Ball fan concepts and mangas, so today we're going to be diving further into this manga chapter to further understand the gravity and nature of Dragon Ball Multiverse. So with that, we begin with Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 8, as we have a recap to the legendary Super Saiyan Broly's story, as we have Krillin and Gohan and Vegeta, and it says Earth between 20 and 26 of May 767. The story took place in universes 4, 6, 16, 17, 18, and 20, and we see how Gohan says, Vegeta, sit and join with us to the party, and Vegeta says, no, I left the hyperbolic time chamber, so what else should I do? And we see how Gohan's trying to offer him to sit down and have some fun, and we see how Vegeta says Kakarot and his son are having a good time. You should rather use your second day in the chamber. Now remember, this is right in between the Cell Game saga, as we see Gohan talk about, don't worry Vegeta, we still have quite some time before the Cell Game tournament begins. And then we see how it says, but a menace much more important was about to pay them a visit on Earth, as we see Paragus arrive, and it says in this spaceship there were 2 Saiyan survivors of the massacre preparated by Frieza, Paragus, and his son Broly. And then we see a brief recap as it says, they invited Prince Vegeta to become the king of their planets, in which he refuses. They then ask him to defeat the legendary Super Saiyan who appeared recently and had been destroying planets one by one. This challenge had Vegeta had accepted to offer. All of our heroes followed him in this new planet Vegeta, in which was a trap. This planet was about to be destroyed by a comet. That's when Broly revealed himself as the legendary Super Saiyan. Son Goku's power made him go crazy and escape from limiting the power device placed by his father. Our heroes understood that the real danger wasn't the comet, but Broly himself. As minutes were going by, Broly became more and more powerful and brutal. He killed his own father. No one can scratch him, but his power made him invulnerable, and it felt as if all hope was lost. Only Son Goku was the last person standing, although he wasn't spared. Son Goku was the only one left standing, although he wasn't spared. Broly's power continued to grow because of his strong hatred towards the Saiyan known as Kakarot. As the comet was approaching, our fallen heroes were much distraught, as Piccolo says, Goku, he's getting stronger, we have to finish him now. Do a Genki Dama, we will give you all of our energy. So that's the difference between this scenario and the other scenario we've seen before, in which they want to create the Genki Dama, aka the Spirit Bomb, in which Goku says yes, but he needs to be distracted, with Vegeta having to say, what a stupid plan, the Genki Dama never works. I, out of all people, know that. And we see how Goku says, my friends of this planet and others around the nearest sun, give me a little bit of your energy, in which we see how Gohan, Super Saiyan Gohan, is the one to distract Broly, as Piccolo says, take all of my energy, with Vegeta having to say this is still ridiculous, Krillin having to give a helping hand and saying if I can help as well, and Trunks having to stick his hand out as well. Gohan is trying desperately to stall Broly, in which Vegeta says this brat is more impressive than I thought, but even though he's trying to do that, Vegeta raises his hands and he says you better not fail, and Goku having to say it's working, and we see how Broly crushes Gohan against the floor, in which Paragus comes on by and says, Broly, how dare you kill me, your own father, and in which Broly is shocked because Paragus is there, with Paragus having to say I knew this was a bad idea. And finally Goku launches the Genki Dama, and we see how Goku pushes this massive Spirit Bomb into the comet with Broly still inside of it, and we see how the Spirit Bomb collides with the comet, and Broly's last memories are having to see himself as a baby, having to cry, and Goku having to be next to him, and the massive, Spirit Bomb and the comet, they explode. So instead of the comet actually hitting the planets, they all survive, and in which it says his energy disappeared, although there's nothing to worry about, and the comet isn't a danger anymore, with Krillin having to say, hey Goku, now that we can beat Broly, Cell should be easy, and Goku having to say, I wouldn't compare the two. Broly was invulnerable to attacks, but he didn't really know how to fight and use his strength. Okay, I've rested enough. I can teleport us, with the narrator saying our heroes thought at the time that the legendary Super Saiyan's reign was over. That was true up until now, as we head into Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 9, as we finally have a recap as to what happened before, as Super Saiyan Broly charges towards Goku, and Goku, having to be in a state of panic, he transforms into a Super Saiyan 3. So we're about to get a showdown between Super Saiyan 3 Goku and legendary Super Saiyan Broly, until this energy beam comes in between Broly and Goku. And we see how Broly touches the beam. He doesn't know where it's coming from, he doesn't know what it is, and it's Vegito. He launches the beam, he pushes his hair down to look like Goku just to get his attention, and he says, "Hey Broly, I am the real Kakarot, come at me." And Broly just right then and there just loses his freaking mind, and he charges up at Vegito, and Vegito powers up to a Super Saiyan and says, "At long last." So finally we see Broly rushing up towards Vegito. He makes an attack, and we see how Broly misses. He misses the first attack, he breaks the entire ring, he's trying to hit Vegito, and Vegito manages to land a very nasty kick to Broly's face, in which we see Vegito giving him shots and elbow shots, and Broly looks like he's in danger. And finally we see Vegito throwing shots until he throws a left hand punch, and Broly having to catch his left hand following his right. So finally Broly grabbed onto his hands and he started kneeing Vegito in the gut. Now I know what you guys might be thinking here, how in the world is this even possible? If you guys have not checked out my previous manga reviews for this overall series, go ahead and check it out because it explains Broly's power. And we see how Vegito is in trouble. Broly cocks his hands up and hammer strikes Vegito right through the planetary ring, in which we see Vegito saying, "Ay, ay, ay, I'm in trouble," and Broly having to come down and saying, "Kakarot, Kakarot, Kakarot," and Broly's desperately trying to hit him. And I will say the overall action here was very intense, because we see Vegito, he's trying to do back shots, he's trying to go ahead and just uppercut him, and it's working to an extent, but it also seems as if Broly's able to compare. So Broly throws a punch, Vegito stops his punch, grabs his arm, and throws him through the remaining pile of rubble that's in the sky, and then Vegito uses instant transmission to teleport behind Broly, in which he sticks his hand out, and then from right there he launches the Big Bang attack from behind Broly, in which causes Broly to get hit with a massive explosion, in which we see Goten and Trunks, Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten says, "Well played, Dad, take that to the face, Broly," and Piccolo having to say, "All that is really nice, but against Broly, it's totally useless," with Gohan having to say, "I thought he had a plan, but now I'm not sure." And the only person that seems to be observing this very heavily is Super Majin Buu, as he says, "What the heck is Vegito doing? Can't he see his opponent is unique?" Of course he does, but maybe he knows him, so why isn't he going to win like this? What is he really doing here? Because Buu is observing Vegito, and it doesn't look like Vegito is really trying here, but Vegito goes, "Phew, come on Broly, I know you want some more." And we see the dust settle, and Broly's there. Broly's really angry, and Broly lashes out and saying, "I am the legendary warrior," and powering up some more. Now Vegito says, yes, show me your maximum power, and Goku and Vegeta having to say Broly's ki just doubled. So it looks like whatever Vegito did caused Broly to up his ki, in which Broly charges back at Vegito and punches him left and right, and it looks like Vegito is in trouble. And again, I can't buy on this idea that 27 years later, after Vegito defeated Majin Buu and never separated, for them to be equal to Broly, because even though Broly never stopped growing in terms of power, we then see Broly punching Vegito all around as he gives him a nasty right hand shot, which causes Vegito to go down into the dirt. And we see how Broly is standing above, he's laughing, his power keeps on growing and growing and growing, and then we see how Vegeta says, that's the power of the legendary Super Saiyan. And we even see the Kaioshin say, "Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, we killed him when he was a baby, wise decision." And we see how even Shin says, "I was against it, but I understand now." And we see the other Supreme Kai say, "We studied the previous one 1,000 years ago. Once transformed, he is totally insensitive to attacks, indestructible, and his power increases, rising steadily without any logic." And we see the final Supreme Kai say, "I I remember we were 3 against him, but what happened was that he had met and exceeded our strength. To finish him, we had to throw him into a star, but this one, we wouldn't be even able to finish him. So they recognized that this Broly was so strong that he was able to match up against anything, and even the Kais knew about him, so it looks like Broly is the main focus here. But Vegito rises through the dirt, he steps up to Broly's face, and he says, "At last, for the first time since my fusion, I must show my true power." So it looks like Vegito has been pushed by Broly to power up, in which Vegito does, and Vegito transforms into a Super Saiyan 2, in which he then calls out Broly and saying, "Let's go, round 2. So Broly charges at Vegito, and again, it looks like Vegito has the upper hand, but as much damage as Vegito is causing to Broly, Broly grabs onto Vegito's skull and he begins to headbutt him. But even with those headbutts, Vegito manages to counter with some knee strikes. So again, I'm gonna have to say the overall art design so far was very well done. As we see Vegito, he's given, Broly left hand punches, right hand punches, and they're both exchanging punches, and you can see based on their demeanor, on their look, that they're both damaged, that they're both starting to get bloody, and Vegito is struggling, and we see them struggling in the air, and we see how Vegeta says, "They're more powerful than any of us combined," in which Gohan says, "Dad never fought at the second level form before, even against Bra." So I don't know what they meant by that, but towards the end of this manga, we see how they collide with their fists, Broly and Vegito having to exchange punches, and then right then and there, the manga chapter cuts off. So the overall exchange of power, we know that Broly grows, ever so steadily even during battle, so his power never stops. He can never stop growing, but Vegito told Broly that I'm gonna show you my true power, and at long last, finally an opponent that's able to push me to those limits. The only thing I'm gonna have to disagree with is having Broly match up to Vegito, because even if Broly never stopped growing throughout that entire time where, they were at peace, and even if Broly was floating in space, despite that having to be said, Broly's power not only doubled after having to take the shot from the Big Bang Kamehameha, but even after being called out by Vegito, we see how Broly's anger is what he uses to fuel him. So this overall chapter in terms of design was very well orchestrated. The overall art was amazing. But post your comments down below, guys. What are your overall thoughts on Broly having to compete against Vegito? What are your overall thoughts on Vegito having to transform into Super Saiyan 2 for the first time since we've never seen Super Saiyan 2 before? And in case you guys are wondering if it's Super Saiyan 2, it is, because if you guys look at his hair strains, it manages to actually go up instead of down. So he uses more of his power round 2, level 2 of a Super Saiyan. So post your comments down below, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you guys love Dragon Ball, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more news, information, updates, and reviews. Make sure to turn on notifications, guys, as you guys will be updated every single time I post the video on the channel. Tune back in for more if you guys enjoyed. Slap a like down below, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. And for anybody out there who wants to talk about Broly's power scaling, what are your overall thoughts on him having to survive the Genki Dama and be floating in space for many, many, many years and still be able to rival the powers of Vegito? Because as much as I want to say it, I do disagree with the idea that Broly should be as strong as Vegito. However, I believe we're only 204 pages in to this 1,300 part manga, so we have almost 1,000 more pages to go, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have not checked out the previous manga reviews on Dragon Ball Multiverse, go ahead and check it out. And I want to know down below, do you guys believe that Dragon Ball Super had its inspiration from Dragon Ball Multiverse? That is something I'm very curious to know about, you guys. So comment down below, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you all later. Take it easy, guys. Peace.